Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Hippo Cup 9. This is going to be our first match of the tournament. We've got a bit of a heater for you. It's going to be Z10a derank tax, the number 2 seeded team based off of rank of the tournament, versus Funyamorake. This is going to be our main French team of the tournament. Joining me on this cast, I am Hubba Wubba, and joining me is Torva. How are you feeling about the matchup?
I'm feeling good. This feels like it's like a really stacked match really early in, which is always very fun to see, but always really weird to see how it goes, because it can always affect later in, but either way, I mean, it's a stacked match to say the least. I'm expecting a close match. I mean, this is a star ring that, you know, all these players are going to probably play in their sleep, so I am interested to see how these points get divided between these teams.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one with regards to comforts. I mean, I feel like Japan has had a bit of a revitalization year in the tournament scene with their OWC showing last year. A lot of people were saying, we don't know any of these players, it's kind of like a warm-up year, but then they performed pretty well. They got a win under their belt, which they hadn't done previously since 2022, so hopping into Hippo Cup, looking to maybe fill the void of the China team who unfortunately didn't make it in this year. It's going to be Funyamorake, as we do have our bans and rolls coming through right now. It's going to be a second ban for the Z10a team.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about, like, you know, strong teams overall here, and, you know, getting a chance back here for Japan. I mean, I'm interested. Their lineup seems real strong, but then so does Z10 rank tags. I mean, yeah, both teams are so strong, and I mean, I want to see both teams progress further, because I feel like both these teams can go quite far. It is just one of those things where I just want to know who goes into the winners bracket. I mean, we do get to see that, thankfully, but I genuinely don't think I'd be able to make an educated guess on this match.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to assume skill sets this early on. I feel like where the Japan team is going to have the main advantage is in the reading picks, believe it or not. The reading and the finger control is going to be them all day. Of course, you're looking at players like Yama Darkness and Rollpan for those maps, as well as Haga 115 and Rikuima for the finger control. And in a SR this low, having like one of the top #1 farmers in the game, his whole thing is just like getting great AC on the star rating, is going to be really scary for maps like the DT4, for example, where it's just a minute straight of density finger control, and immediately we are seeing actually the DT6 ban come out. That's going to be the lower aim pick in that DT pool.
Yeah, very interesting ban to start off with. I mean, you know, the lower AR, I mean, a lot of this DT pool is a lot lower AR early in. It just overall a bit of a difference, although I'm looking at this map pool, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm looking interested at DT5 right now. I see 41 seconds, and I want to know what that kind of map is at 4 minutes. No, sorry, 40 seconds at 4 stars.
That map, oh, I had my slots mixed up. That is the less than 1 minute density finger control pick. It's just like super old style, super hard to act. The DT4 is the 260 ppm like snap square map. Very scary stuff there, but it's going to be the DT5 ban coming through, which makes plenty of sense given what I mentioned before with regards to Hagen.
Yeah, I mean, it's an understandable ban. Yeah, if you know someone you're against is going to be, you know, someone who's strong on it, yeah, maybe you do want to get rid of it. You know, just maybe not want to give up, not nice for an easy point, because this generally could go either way at this early in, but don't want to give away a point that might be a bit easier for your opponents than yourself, and I think that might be the idea behind that DT6 ban as well.
For sure. The DT6 side, you're just trying to get rid of that variable aim if you are on the Japan side. Of course, their bread and butter more aligned with the flow aim and hard rock comfort, as well as the accuracy maps. So, gonna be really interesting to see this second ban come through now. I assume based off the first one, they would get rid of something like the DT1, which on paper is a very similar map, or even a free mod 2, which is more of the awkward aim pick of this pool. if you're just looking to get rid of those trickier aim maps, as opposed to the more standardized ones. Of course, Hippo Cup pool is known for being incredibly large and dense, despite it being a first to 5 on the score, so because of the length of the maps, it should go by pretty quick, but you are looking for raw consistency in these pools.
Yeah, such a variety within the map pool, such a large map pool. None of them actually being too long. I mean, you have the No Mod 4, which is like 4 minutes, and I think that is like honestly the longest map in the pool other than Tiebreaker. But they're going to get rid of the No Mod 1, getting rid of that standard aim, which is, I mean, bit sad to see, because if they both tried banning No Mod 1. Oh.
No, they're on the same team. They're on the same team.
Oh, okay, that's really confused me. The fact they're different colors. Yeah, my bad there. So yeah, get rid of No Mod 1. Oh.
I'm curious about that, because I don't think, low-key, I don't think that's a map any team is picking unless their back is against the wall. That's just like Fiery Rage TV size farm map. I'm very surprised to see that banned as opposed to some of the longer aim maps in this pool, or even the Hard Rock 1, which isn't necessarily longer, but is trickier, but that CS 4.5 Hard Rock kind of transitions to 5.85 if memory recalls, so slight precision there, but I mean, just trying to get rid of the most common aim in this pool, I feel like gives z10a derank tax a good idea of what they want to pick in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of the standard aim and then leaving maybe the Hard Rock 1 on the table, which would probably be, I think, the closest to it. I mean, gives them that idea of just like, okay, if we get through our set maps we were chosen on, we can go to Hard Rock 1, we can be a bit confident on it. Unless that is the plan on their end, but it'd be a pretty weird plan to go in for. But I mean, if the team's come up with it, they've come up with it. But it seems that there's more to get rid of Hard Rock 3, getting rid of that more, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Hard Rock 3, again, this goes into the worries of accuracy. That is going to be our 170 BPM sort of tapping consistency map. Has a little bit of finger control elements, just like 170 BPM long streams, at least for this SR. Very low spacing, and I feel like that's what they're worried about. They're just worried about Japan getting incredibly good accuracy on these pools and striking out those picks that they are likely to be most consistent on. And now we are underway with our picks. It's going to be z10a derank tax to pick first, and again, with regards to those aim bans, we're looking for maps like the Hard Rock 1, DT1, or Fremont 2 to come out from them, most likely as first picks. But it's going to be Fremont 4, speaking of aim maps, that's actually one I forgot about. This is the shortest aim map in the pool at 49 seconds. This is Bill Wirtz's school.
Yeah, 49-second map. Yeah, misses on this were going to be a small bit fatal, if anything. It's also really low star rating of 5.06, but I think that is also due to the fact that it's I'd argue on the lower approach rate side. Maybe not low because it is still 9.2, but still on the lower end, especially compared to some of the other maps in this pool, and low OD of ODA. I mean, a five star map. This it can be something, but again, when you add on the odds in combination, it will change a small bit. I think because of the CS size, I think Hard Rock might be slightly easier because of it going to, I think, CS4 with Hard Rock. Or I think it's a CS 4.8 or something like that. So you're pretty much just playing either standard Hard Rock, standard no mod. So like you haven't got too much to wear on the Hard Rock side of things there. The hidden, however, it's AR9 hidden. If you're comfortable on it, you're comfortable on it. If you're not, don't risk it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little dense. The gimmick of Hippo Cup generally is 2 hidden players, 2 non-hidden players per map, but free mod rules is just 2 players with mods. So for this one, you could have 2 Hard Rock players and 2 no mod players if you so desired. I feel like that would lessen the consistency, however, of some of these players. I feel like Funyamorake luckily to just go the double hidden route. Meanwhile, all 4 players of the z10a derank tax already in the lobby. You're looking at Fie, Hifkill, Akuma no Tenshi, and Defi. All very well tenured tournament players in their own right. Defi joining that Austria 3WC team last year as Austria-Hungary duo. Managed to get 4th place, so definitely a player to look out for in this tournament with regards to underdog runs. But in we go. Both rosters in. On the other side is going to be Furuman, Shopapan, and Rikuima for the AIM roster on Funyamorake.
Yeah, I mean, the good luck's coming out. It seems the players are ready. And I mean, going back to the tournament runs you're saying, I mean, FIE's also had like quite a strong one. Maybe not so much in a lot of those like high placements in OWC, but they're still a very strong player when it comes to it. And even in the 1v1 brackets or 2v2 bracket tournaments, they've been so strong in a lot of tournaments. So I'm interested to see the performance of the team overall. I'm expecting FIE to just come out with a hidden here. As far as I've seen from like every free mod they've played, they've always ran hidden. So I think that's almost a guaranteed mod for them, but the rest of the mod combination is what I'm very interested in when going into this map.
It's going to be the hidden for Haga, the hard rock for Shopapan, and Akuma no Tenchi on the hidden as well. Actually, an overmod coming through for Z10a as we allow Bancho to catch up. I'm unsure which act drops are real at the moment. Of course, this is a Score v1 tournament, so accuracy is going to matter a little less, but at this SR, you have to worry about every little factor of your gameplay. Just a couple thousand off, and you're looking... It's actually a score flicker on the spinner making the difference, and the first miss to come through, surprisingly enough, on the side of Funyamorake is almost to guarantee this point for Z10a.
Yeah, with it being Score v1, those combos are just going to devour that score lead alive, and having those 4-4 combos, I mean, even in Score v2 would be still brutal, but the combo scaling adding to that score is just going to fling that score lead so far. And I mean, it's a low star map, all the accuracy is going to be super high, but 3 SSs on the side of Z10, I mean, does kind of solidify that point early in for them, getting 200k score difference super early in.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. The only player on the Z10a side to drop some 100s is their hard rock player, so makes plenty of sense. Overmod acquired and doing just fine for themselves with a very quick first point on the board. And again, the Funyamorake, unfortunately, with those bans, have kind of written their weakness on their sleeve a little bit with regards to the aim picks. I mean, it's going to be likely Free Mod 2, DT1, and Hard Rock 1 to come, but as well as far as their picks go, you are probably still looking at this DT pool, something like the DT4, that very short 260 BPM map would be comfortable for their DT roster. DT2 as well, old style. It is OD6, but for those old style maps, you are looking for a little bit of confidence with regards to the accuracy there.
Yeah, I see those DTs definitely coming out into play, at least relatively soon. Whether it's the first pick or second pick from them, I mean, it would be completely up to them, but I do see it being a very early option, a very strong option possibly as well for them, with, you know, the DT abilities that they have.
Looking at the rest of this pool, I mean, you could look at something like Hard Rock 2 even as a rhythm alt map. Kind of lower CS for a Hard Rock pool, 4.6 after Hard Rock. But another map where accuracy is going to be a very needed thing for confidence, but it's going to be the DT2 pick first. This is going to be our 240 BPM old style map. I believe ranked in 2011. I'm going to open it up to verify, and my old map radar is on point. It was 2011. So
Jesus, yeah, that's an old map. I was like 4. I think I was 4 when that map was ranked. Yeah, that's old. Holy. Yeah, so ranked for 14 years. If you're an old player of OSU, you might know your way around this map or not. But if you're new gen, you might be like me, maybe not even seen this map before this map pool. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
This was like, this was all I played back when I was ranked 60k. I was like, just old map speed was such a hoot. So I'm well familiar with this one and interested to see how the players are going to do with this. Again, the OD6 DT can be a boon with regards to accuracy, but if you get jump scared by one of those bursts, I mean, note lock potential is available, if anything, to catch out some misses here. Now it's the other way around. You're looking at Funyamorake getting their team in. It's Haga, Rollpan, the role players you expect. Rikuima as well, likely to hop in. Well-known tapping player for the Japan side.
Yeah, also bringing in Defi and Hefgill for, you know, Z10 derank attacks. I keep going to call them derank tank, but it's not attacks. I just can't read. And also Akuma no Tenchi. I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see how this map goes, because, I mean, I would say this is possibly a bit more favored towards Funyamorake, but again, it's such a low star rating that I'm pretty sure that all these players are at least going to get such high scores in this, possibly even an 8-way FC, but I think it's just going to be down to his accuracies, even with it being score v1 based.
And now for Ramon, final one to hop in for Funyamorake. All players in the lobby, and green lights are a go.
Yeah, the good lucks are there. The players are ready, and yeah, the longest map so far, getting ready to be played at 2 minutes. So it's going to be a bit, you know, a bit more on that consistency side rather than it being a 40-second map, which will be at least interesting to say the least.
All players in, just waiting for it to start, of course. This map throws a couple jump scares at you with regards to patterning. You're looking at one of the specific bursts that comes to mind is immediately after the break at the halfway point. There is a long burst that starts at the top left corner. Just like immediately after the break, just to like throw you off your toes. So if you weren't prepared for that, could be seeing some disasters come through with this, but otherwise should be easy goings for these teams. Again, most of these picks are just going to come down to act battles with regards to the confidence of these rosters.
Yeah, I mean, accuracy battles, you got some few optional hiddens going in, which is kind of expected. A lot of players with DC just always do prefer hidden. But, you know, the map has now officially started, and now this is where, you know, things can start to go a bit south if you're not careful. I mean, it's early and nothing too majorly problematic for these players. I mean, right now it's just, I think it's 2 SSs on the side of Z10 and 3 on the side of Funyamorake. So it's going to take a few moments to get the map, you know, completely started. But hitting that first quarter mark, and you can kind of see the map getting a small bit more, a bit more, you know, easily missable if you're not careful with a lot of this aim. But again, I'd say not completely there yet when it comes to that 240 capability.
Yeah, the finger control, not too bad. You're just seeing these doubles at the tail ends of these sliders, as well as the standard triples to come through. A couple 100s dropped for Defi, going to be extending the SV1 lead a little bit for Funyamorake. Again, where you get those 100s also going to be important for the overall accuracy. Right now, it's just about a 100k difference, give or take, given the recent 100s from Rikuima, but we're about to nail that first break at the halfway point. Long burst as well, and a few more 100s actually going to be extending this lead even more for Defi. It's Funyamorake with a 300k lead now, but still no breaks, and the burst of doom is going to be coming after that break. It's actually a miss for Akuma no Tenchi on the hidden bottom left. Is going to be disastrous.
Yeah, that break might have already, you know, solved this map, but Ropan does trade it out, so there's a chance maybe for it to be flipped over if Akuma does build up a recovery combo. I mean, there's still like no time left in that, but being 12v1, those combo multipliers can really start to kick in, but it's going to be mostly based off if another player in Funyamorake misses or drops a major bit of accuracy, because that score lead is still decently large, and still 3 4 comes. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, yeah, I think that does then completely solve the map in favor of Funyamorake or Monkey.
Yeah, surprising stuff there with that break from Akuma no Tenchi. Just the density of this map. Of course, old map DT, you're looking at that AR8 double time converts to AR 9.6, which at this BPM can be dense for some of these players who are more aligned with the higher SRs. So Akuma no Tenchi finding a slight overaim on that note, and that's all she wrote for the pick as it's tied up once more to 1-1.
Yeah, and I mean, still, like, it was tied 1-1. It's unfortunate with the miss coming in from Tenchi, but like you did also get the SS coming from Satsuki, which I believe was the only SS on this map so far for these teams. That's right, I've worded that really badly. It was the only SS in this match, not in general, because there are a lot of SSs on that map, so I had to try and reword that 3 times. But yeah, still, Satsuki coming out with the best score overall in the map, but unfortunately, yeah, the miss on their team does give that point over. But it is back to Z10a's pick, and they've still got, again, such a wide range of picks available to them that it's just no real problems.
Yeah, I am curious to see. I mean, I feel like they could just pick those aim maps and be relatively safe. But there are other picks in this pool that they would probably shine on. Something like the Nomad 4 Swingish Tech map by Mir. I feel like is a skill set they could play in. Just like those multi-skill set maps, looking for something that's going to make the Funyamorake players a little uneasy. But it is going to be DT1 maintaining the aim pick ritual that has been going on.
Yeah, at this point, we're just going to wipe out the entire DT pool. I think, actually, no. We have, like, what, one more DT map left? Wait, no. Yeah, we'd have one more DT map left at the DT3, I believe, before they're all gone, so... Yeah, I mean, just
yeah.
all of it. Yeah,
Was
more
DT4
left.
banned?
I believe so? No, I don't think it was, actually. It was No, DT4 was first pick, no?
It was DT2 first pick.
No, free... No, yeah, it was DT2 and 3, my fault. Sorry. The map lengths are messing with my brain. they're all like under a minute, so my brain's like amalgamating them all together. No, so we still have quite a few DTs on the table. I was wrong though. We're keeping the DT streak going though. That's where it is. Yeah, going into that is DT1. No longer DT. The longest map. The 1 minute 36. So a bit less time than DT2, which maybe might be easier to not find misses on, but. Again, it can generally happen anywhere, but we are coming into the higher approach rates of actually going past AR10 and hitting the AR10.2.
Yeah, 10.2, going to be the AR 8.8 plus double time. This is as close as you're going to get to a map similar to the DT6. Those maps just separated by 6 BPM, both relatively interesting aim checks. This one actually a little bit more skill cap-ish with regards to the aim control patterns in between, which is why I was curious to see this one open over that DT6. I suppose just Funyamorake not as fond of that Miss Magia style.
I mean, yeah, that can definitely be a major factor. It's just that comfort in those different map styles. I mean, even if they are checking the same skill overall, it can be that small fraction difference between the mappers that maybe make the map a bit more or less comfortable for teams. And getting rid of the DT6, we keep with DT1 might have just been that exact thing in play. We have Haga running the hidden for Funyamorake and none of the others.
Yeah. Actually, wait. I am unsure if that is Bancho. Furamon is both missing No Fail and Hidden. And I believe he would be the hidden player, so we're gonna get a quick panic in.
Yeah, so it was yeah, there we go. Yeah, Tenchi and Fie running the hiddens. Yeah, that's what I was expecting, and Furamon running the hidden as well. I was really confused seeing Fie without the hidden. That really confused me. Oh, Shupon actually being the first miss as well on this map, which does give that early lead over to Z10 rank, which they can honestly just kind of run away with because they have got such strong aim capabilities across their whole team, and this map doesn't really get into a position where I think any of those players are going to majorly struggle. But as I said, Fie is the one to find the miss for their team, but it's traded by Haga and Furamon, which means that score lead is still going to keep growing for Z10.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the more volatile maps in this pool, and as you're seeing, that triple break from Funyamorake is more than likely just to be the nail in the coffin as we make it past that halfway point. Hit kill to trade, but still 2 FCs to 1. Rikuima doing their best, and I mean, I feel like this is just a roster issue at this point. Shopapan, unfortunately, the first player to break on both of those aim picks so far for Z10A, is a little bit tragic, but Akuma no Tenchi and Defi doing as advertised with the double FC, close it out with a 2 million score lead and their second point on the board as these teams continue to trade.
Yeah, just going pretty much back and forth almost on those misses, and it seems like it was actually a slider break for FA, which is unfortunate. I think I was expecting it because the miss did kind of seem out of nowhere, but unfortunate, and sometimes it just happens. But it didn't matter too much for them. They did win the point. They did hold those combos a bit longer, and did close it with 2 full combos on their end. So either way, it played out perfectly fine for them, and that comfortability on that DT1 did just show for it.
Mhm. And now Funyamorake looking to keep the trade war going with their next pick. If DT4 is open, wouldn't be surprised to see the DT train still going choo-choo, but otherwise, looking at rhythm maps in this pool, I'm interested in something like that HR2, or even going into the reading practice map of the storyboard map in Nomad 6 could also be an interesting shout. Just to see, like, the confidence on these players, I suppose. Japan, generally a team that tends to practice these pools near religiously, so I would not be surprised to see them pull through with those practice-heavy picks.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect the grind set if you do pick those, practice-heavy picks, because it is just that constant, like, almost religious level of practicing these maps. And again, it's just, you have to respect it. The amount of time put in, you can tell there is determination to win for them. But it seems that they go to pick into the No Mod 5 instead, going into Fly.
Yeah, this is going to be one of our 2 lower AR maps in this pool, the under AR9 barrier. This is Fly. I believe ranked in 2022. This is the Arenal remap. This is going to be some low BPM alt aim, kind of Kirby mix style. And of course, 2 hidden players per pick is going to make this interesting with regards to the reading confidence on these teams. We do see VA, Akuma and Tenchi Hipkill, this main core of the z10a side still staying in the lobby. So last time out, it was the hidden that gave Funyamorake the point with that break from Akuma no Tenchi. I wonder if he will be remaining on the hidden. VA, I feel like hidden is a given, but I'm curious to see who their second hidden player is going to be on the side of z10a.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing I'm looking out for, because, again, the hiddens I feel like can definitely be the make or break, especially on this kind of map with it being low AR and a bit more on the weirder end, I guess you could say. So I am interested to see who their second hidden player is. I mean, VA is probably going to run into this with confidence, confident on low AR hidden, so that's kind of almost a given. But yeah, it is that other hidden, and I'm also actually really interested to see who's going to be running the hidden for Funyamorake as well.
Yeah, I believe... I mean, I am looking at Furamon to be sort of a lock for the hidden on these kinds of maps. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Rikuima here go for it, just because they're such a well-rounded tournament player. I wouldn't be surprised to see them on any map in this SR. Satsuki, on the other side, another likely candidate for hidden on the z10a derank tax team. 4-man roster to boot. z10a, I believe, has only used 5 players so far out of their 9-player roster. If memory recalls, they have been just running it down with the most consistent core that they can on these picks.
Yeah, I believe that has been the case. It is Satsuki and VA running the hidden for Z10, and Ataline and Rolpan running the hidden for Funyamorake. So it is actually Froman and Rurikma running the no mods for them.
Yeah, that is surprising. Autoline hopping back in, I believe, was absent for this year's OWC team. Excited to see him back. It's VA with the first break. Surprisingly enough, it's going to be a score lead for Funyamorake, but in we go with the Ki and Autoline finding the overaim. It's going to be a little bit of an equalizer here, back to essentially an act battle.
Yeah, it generally could just be up to the next misses, or yeah, and actually battle for the rest of this map. But I do feel like you could expect maybe at least one other miss coming in, because we still have 3/4 of the map remaining, and these patterns are not easy by any meaning. I mean, sure, the star rating might show it as being easy, but when you actually go out to play this map with the low approach rate, it can get a bit more awkward, and the lead actually does flip over for Z10 by about 45k. But, you know, that's probably just going to keep skyrocketing with it being Scorpio 1. And yeah, it seems that Fie's miss was just an unfortunate slider break that they're just hoping not to reciprocate. But oh, that's a really bad miss coming in from Aguma, moving that score lead immediately back over into Funyamorike's team. And if they don't answer with a miss themselves, then it could be wraps. But again, with it being Scorpio 1, that combo just becomes more and more important the longer this goes on.
Yeah, you're looking at the higher combos in the lobby. You're looking at Satsuki, Hivkill, Rollpan, Rikuima. All these FCs right now, the recovery combos of both Fie and Akuma no Tenshi will equalize that third FC, but Autolean's combo is essentially free, especially with that second break from Akuma no Tenshi. They are getting so much free score at the current moment, and the second break to come through, and unfortunately for the z10a side, this pick is more than likely just wraps unless we see a quad break at this point. Honestly, even one of these players holding on would be enough to anchor the slot for Funyamorake. And as we hit the slowdown, the fates are sealed, and more than likely the next trade of our picks to come through 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, you're just seeing these teams being so comfortable on their own picks. Like, it's this star rating where the players are going to be comfortable and they're not going to be too stressed on their own picks. But, oh, Satsuki does trade out Adeline, which isn't really worth it when that's one of their full combos going down. So it is going to take, like, a three-way break now to happen. But even then, it's still 3 mil and, like, no map density remaining. So bringing that back is going to be such a struggle. And I don't think there's going to be enough time for it, which means I think it's enough time for Funyamorake to take that point for themselves.
Yeah, that was the FC for recovery combo trade. I was looking at Autolean's cursor towards the tail end of that, and the shake. I feel so guilty. That was that was a little sad. Of course, the CS5 AR8 hybrid maps incredibly tricky to maintain that cursor precision, but 3 FCs to boot going to be more than enough damage to keep that point as we are tied up 2-2, and it's curious to see where we go next. I would imagine it's Fremont 2, just because of aim styles once again, but these multi-skill set maps are going to be plenty confident for the z10a side. I am curious to see rosters, though, because, again, they've just been running the same 5 players over and over. I'm curious if the other 4 are present for the match, even.
Yeah, if they're A, present, and B, if they're even needed currently. I mean, their team are looking quite strong and confident with what they're running. And yeah, they do go straight into your predicted pick. They go straight into that free mod 2. And I believe they could be swapping out 2 players, but again, they might just swap it up and go straight back to the 4 they've been running, or the 5 they've been running. And yeah, I mean, this is a map where you could definitely start to see those other players in their team come out. But it, again, does just depends if they're even present or if they're confident on this star rating, or because for a lot of these players, this is on the lower end by quite a decent margin.
Yeah, because all the players that you would usually see on reading picks for that team are currently not in client. Looking at players like Musty, like Listia, like Nux, formerly known as Haunt. None of them are online right now. So
yeah,
I feel like we have opened up a little bit of a gap with regards to these reading picks that the Japan side is going to have a pretty heavy advantage on, but it is Fremont 2 slotted through Bull and Eagle by Look Vibrant. This is the 0PP diff, and this is essentially what is your standard hidden 1 slot with just dense, awkward aim, but in the free mod pool. So free mod rules, you just need 3 mods. Could be any mods. The 2 hidden rule no longer necessary now. Curious to see if we see any hard rock over mods or anything of the sort, just because of the approach rate comfort that has been perceived.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I as usual expecting Fie to be running that hidden, but I feel like we could see a hidden come out again from the Tenshi, and maybe the hard rocks maybe an overmod with hard rock coming in from Hifko or Satsuki. We did see it with the last free mod where both teams were running 2 Hiddens and a Hard Rock, but maybe that could change up for the free mod too. Maybe they, just want to lock in that awkward aim and just play it with, people who are comfortable on the Hiddens, comfortable on the Hard Rocks, and then just basically run the bare minimum and then run the no mods to guarantee. But again, it's up to these players. If they're comfortable on it, which they very likely are, they could just be overmodding it and just try to basically squeeze out any extra point they can out of those mod combinations.
This map, one of the trickier maps in this pool, despite it being 5.44 stars, looks can be deceiving with regards to the patience requirement at this SR, making sure not to find those over aims on this mid-range BPM. It is going to be the Hard Rock on Hipkill and no Hard Rock on the side of Funyamorake. Hipkill a little bit more confident on the higher approach rates, especially given the rosters they are playing with at the moment. Funyamoon, first player to break, however, despite being the Nomad anchor on that side.
Yeah, a really early break on the Nomad side is mildly concerning for their team, especially because this is one of those maps where you would kind of hope for your Nomad player, well, especially hope your Nomad player is the one to hold the longest full combo, and Hager also to find a slider break, which hopefully not Bancho, but hopefully is Bancho for their team, but I don't think it is. But Hifkill is to trade it out on that Hard Rock, so it is 2 full combos versus 3 for the side of z10a, and they can just keep running away with building more score. But again, the later these breaks get, the scarier it gets because of that combo scaling, which is just going to be a bit of a problem for them if that is the case.
Yeah, and combo scaling to continue as Haga finds a second break, of course. Well-known Click X player on mouse. Does not bode super well for confident aim unless you do it on tablet like Amelia back in the day. But Haga well-known more for their tapping scores, unfortunately. Having some struggles in this aim pick. It's a 1.2 million score lead for the z10a derank stack side, which is comebackable for Funyamorake if we do see a double break in the near future. We are getting very close, final third of the map remaining. Looking at some of these SSs, looking to see any potential nerves in the cursor, but Satsuki looking so confident, Rollpan looking very confident, just clipping the tail ends of the slider ends, but unfortunately that early double break may have just been enough as we wind down closer to the tail end.
Yeah, though the breaks that were needed on the side of Z10 if Funya wanted a chance just don't seem to be happening, and a miss comes out from Rikuima, and they didn't seem happy about it. That Casa flicking around on that miss, I mean, you can't blame them, but you don't have to worry. This map loss isn't on your end only, because your score, it was already on their side before that miss, and Akuma did actually find the miss right at the end, or the slider break, sorry, but the damage was so far done, and yeah, I mean, still a full combo coming in from Fie, SS coming from Satsuki. I mean, still very strong scores on the side of Funya, but just not strong enough to compete on a map that they were comfortable on.
And that ending slider section actually striking out all the SSs in the lobby, other than Satsuki, managing to close it through on that no-mod, so congratulations to them for that one. Incredibly tricky map there. And Rikui claiming it was a wooting miss, unfortunately. They only lost 1.6 million score to it, so it was not the difference maker for the pick, but still unfortunate to lose their FC in that way. As we continue to trade down the line, looking to give us a bit of a banger for our first match of this Hippo Cup, is 3-2. Funyamorake looking to still keep it even, and given the roster differential we were talking about before, I would not be too surprised to see the free mod 1 come through. That is the other AR8 map in this pool, CS5 AR8. So anti-mod looking for either immediate hard rock confidence or immediate hidden confidence with a pick like that, as well as HR2, DT4, both options still on the table for them.
Yeah, I mean, that free mod 1, I can't remember the tournament it was used in, but I remember having to try and play it, and that free mod 1, it feels evil with just how awkward it is to play. I mean, it's only 2 minutes 27, but for that 2 minutes 27, it just feels horrible. because it's such weird map. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad map. It is a good map by standards, but playing it, it just feels... The best way I can describe it is it feels stressful. It feels like it's a miss guaranteed in a lot of cases, but then you get to players who are experienced in tournament maps and even those weirder maps, and they're probably being a lot more confident on it than I was, and I'm interested to see that happen if they do pick it to free mod 1, but again, they still have so many picks on the table as you were mentioning, and it could be any one of them they pick into next. Ooh, free mod 3. Going into Yoto Gibanashi no Kamikukushi. Going into 240 BPM tapping map, usually known as. A lot of triples, a lot of bursts, some streams as well, especially when it gets to those higher star rating versions. But this one is the Gardens Expert, 6.2 stars, so you can see a lot of those bursts with a more comfortable OD of OD9, so you don't want to worry too much about your tapping, but you still have to keep an eye on it because of that tapping, you know, still requirement, and definitely the intensity of it being still 240. But again, you shouldn't have to worry too much about it. These players will be comfortable on it. And yeah, I'm actually interested about this pick. I mean, we're saying about them being a lot better on, you know, a lot more of these kind of maps, but this map does just fully lean into it, so I am interested to see how this goes, but again, we're still with the expectation of Funya to take this point for themselves.
Yeah, this one feels a bit scarier though to me, with regards to the added aim difficulty, the general mechanics, as well as losing some of the old map jank that you had in that DP2 pick. I'm a little unsure of this one comparatively, especially with how close that DP2 was. It just came down to one break about 80 combo earlier than the other. So, looking very scary for the side of Funyamorake, but looking to maintain. It is Rollpay and Rikuim at Chopin in the lobby, and I would not be too surprised to see Haga fill in that final slot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, wouldn't be too unexpected to see that happen. I am interested with this map because, I mean, it's a fun map. It's a good song. Honestly, this is one of those maps that I will just listen to it and vibe. But they do bring in Pheromone for it, which was not our initial expectation. But yeah, I mean, it's just a fun tapping map. There's not much more I can really say about this map in my opinion, which is it being fun. Higher difficulties can definitely get a bit more infuriating. But thankfully, they don't have to worry about that. They are playing the Gardens Expert deck. It's just going to be good. Yeah, good luck's already. Let's get into the map. I think I remember trying to farm this map back when this was like my average star rank. Oh, wait, this is a lot of overmod coming in the side of Z10. Oh, yeah, coming off the side of Z10. I expect to have the Akuma with the Hidden and Satsuki, but then Hifkill and Defi both running the Hard Rocks, with Shupon being the only Hard Rock on the side of Funya, and Rolpan and Pheromone both running Hidden, with Rikuma being the no mod player on their side. Hifkill actually running in with the early SS, but being matched by Chopin, so it's not going to do too much for those Hard Rocks. It's going to be the rest of the accuracy is going to be looked at right now, especially as they are all holding on combo. Actually, no, Satsuki did actually have an early miss about 100 combo win, which is causing, I think, that 400k score lead in favor of Funya.
Yeah, that break going to be massive for the added score. It's only about 500k early. As we hit our halfway point, you're looking for the snap aim difficulty in between these bursts as well as the accuracy confidence. We also see a couple 98s coming through for both of these teams, 2 per, but that 97 for Defi going to be giving ACK advantage pretty firmly to Funyamorake as we make it to our final quarter. All players holding on tight. Satsuki's recovery combo building up and ready to pounce if Funyamorake were to break, but it's the overmod that kills, and Defi with the Hard Rock unfortunately, to fall here as Team Funyamorake keep the trades going. It's going to be 3-3 at the tail end, 3 million score difference. And what a four-way FC for them.
Yeah, I mean, expected to win the point that this team's so confident on it, but like four-way FC with all like relatively strong accuracies as well. I mean, just fair play. Two of them just barely missing out on the 99, but again, it was still enough for them to win the point. Hifkill coming in with a 99.8 on the Hard Rock, but sadly not enough when it comes to Score V1 to bring that point home for themselves, as it does become, I believe, 3-3.
Yep, 3-3, the score line to come through for these teams. And Funyamorake, I mean, making it work on this pool. This is one of the teams slated to go pretty far in the tournament with regards to comfort on all skill sets and all avenues, but early stage, you are looking for that raw consistency, and right now Funyamorake pulling through to tie it up once more. And I mean, if we get a tiebreaker in our first match, Torva, that would be something special, but it's back to the z10a side, and you're still looking for those aim maps. More than likely, Hard Rock 1 still on the table, slated as the final aim pick remaining for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, this match is looking like it's going to get closer and closer to that tiebreaker because they're so matched with each other. Like, it just doesn't seem like these teams are going to be finding breakpoints because of the fact that, you know, they're picking into something that their team is guaranteed to be comfortable on. They're not, you know, finding major mispicks, but, you know, the map pool is dwindling down a small bit. It's still a large map pool, there's still a lot of variety left, but it is dwindling down. Those major comfort maps are gone by this point, and it's going to be the maps that, you know, they're still comfortable on, they're still able to play, but are slightly becoming closer and closer to a coin toss. But not just yet, more like a biased coin toss at this point. But they do pick into that No Mod 3 Night Theater Etude by Citrus. Long map. Wait, no, is it long map? No, it's 1 minute 54. Damn it, I thought it was the long map.
You know, No Mod 4 was the longer one, but this is one of two mirror maps in this pool back-to-back in that No Mod 3, No Mod 4 swap. This is going to be the lower BPM flow variant of that. Lots of XL decel with some rounded sliders. You're looking for general finger control and aim control comfort on a pick like this. One of the more volatile maps in the pool, one of the harder maps in this pool. And here's where that multi-skill set comfort is going to come through. You're looking at Satsuki and Fie with immediate flow aim and aim control comfort to be sort of the anchors for a map like this, but Funyamorake on the other side, no slouch with regards to Furamon and Shopunpon. They were putting in the work on those techier hidden ones back in OWC, and I'm curious to see if they will do the same now that they are in the Hippo Cup win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be biased towards this because I just enjoy flowing, but it's a fun map to say the least. I mean, anything flowing related is always fun. Even if it's on the lower end of BPMs of 155, like I think this is, but you know, getting to that finger control, it can be infuriating at times, especially if not someone who's very well practicing it. But thankfully, these players definitely are, and they're definitely players that are gonna definitely pull out some nice scores in this map. Running, I mean, with the two forced hiddens, I think it could make the flowing a bit more challenging, but it shouldn't be anywhere majorly uncomfortable for these players. I think the main issue with this, with it being the flow aim, is the fact that it's actually, no, I don't know. This map's even 9.4, so even there, they're just going to be comfortable on the hidden. It shouldn't be too big of a problem for that flow aim. Maybe not even the sliders. So I don't expect to see major breaks coming in here. But then again, I've said this before, and I've been shocked because it is so easy to find those unfortunate breaks, especially in a tournament setting where, you know, especially the Score V1 tournament setting as well, to say the least, is where you know your misses are going to be just so fatal if you're not careful, and that mental added pressure can definitely add more to it as well. So again, even though you wouldn't expect misses to happen, especially to players, especially if it's a solo play, but you know, anything can happen in a tournament setting, and it is just going to be up to that consistency to shine through.
Yeah, all players in the lobby now. It's Akuma no Tenchi and Hipkill assuming final positions in the bottom row for Z10A. Funyamorake, they bring in Rafuna. The secret weapon has not played a map so far in this match. It is their first map on. Flow aim specialist for the team. Autoline hopping in for their second map as well. Both of those players going to be the Nomad anchors. Haga115 a little more confident on the hidden. Want to be taking that alongside Fromon, and immediately a first break for Hif kill and the first signs of a potential weakness on their own pick. And this is what I was worried about. Oh, it was Bancho. Okay, never mind. I was wondering why the score was still flicking. I was like, surely their accuracy isn't that bad. But yeah, these snap slider patterns and wiggly flow aim is going to stay scary. About a 40k score difference back over after this couple 100s from Autoline. You're looking for any sign of nerves, any sign of discomfort with the stop and go patterns in it, but it's Rafuda with a massive chain brace secret weapon, no more, and z10a going to be running away with it now at the halfway point.
Yeah, that break is just unfun for their side. It's just, you know, so unfortunate. That's the word I was looking for. But, you know, it does come in with another set of chain miss coming from Autoline, and I mean, you can't fully blame them, right? This map is, it's on the lower star rank side, sure, but these flowing patterns are still super awkward. It's, you know, so easy to be caught out on, and you're seeing it so much coming in from Autoline here, where, you know, the sort of awkward XL and D cells, and same with Haga as well, also finding another miss, but it is still a 4-way full combo, 3/4 of the map in for the side of Z10, which, I mean, their pick, they're confident, they definitely got the practice in, but still holding 4-way full combo on this, even with both the hidden still sitting at such a solid 99, and Satsuki at 99.8. I mean, just such great work. I mean, Furman as well, also with 99.6 on this, with how easy it is for this to, you don't even just find act drops, but again, those misses, it just seems to not phase any of the players on the side of Z10, with it being a 4-way full combo on that side, and I think that was 3 perfect full combos.
Yeah, incredibly confident scoreline for the Z10A side. Flow aim comfort is a bread and butter, and when they were reluctant to continue picking that aim with how close the last one got, the flow aim did the talking. Hardest map, or one of the hardest maps in this pool, the Nomad 3, will confirm their match point. Now Funyamorake, backs against the wall is when you're strongest. They're looking for a TB. They're looking for a final pick that will confirm it. And if I'm them, I'm still looking at that Hard Rock too, honestly. I feel like the other tapping and rhythmic picks in this pool worked out fine, especially with the rhythm bans coming through on the Z10A side. They banned that DT5. That was the main figure control map in this pool. I feel like going for that Hard Rock 2, trying to maintain the healthier axe will be a path to victory here, but again, plenty of pool to go, as well as that free mod 1. The CS5 AR8 with the forced mods will be a force to be reckoned with current rosters. So, final pick of the pick. It's going to be curious to see what they go for.
Yeah, I mean, this is generally just the difference between match already ending and the tiebreaker chances. I mean, back pretty much against the wall here. I mean, you know, I would say back against the wall, but again, with it being their pick, it's gonna be, they can pick something they're gonna be confident on, because they've still got so many maps available to them. And yeah, I mean, sure, it is, you know, match point, you know, they do lose the point, it is over, but I don't think they're too worried about it, just because, again, as I said before, the map's being available, and they do finally pick into that free mod 1. It is finally being played, and this is the map I was scared for personally. I'm happy that I'm not the player playing, because Anvila is not a map that I would ever like to see again, not as a player anyway, because of just how awkward or infuriating this map can be if you're, you know, not comfortable on this really weird ult, not really comfortable on this kind of just map in general. And it's one of those maps where I would definitely say the 5-star rating does just feel like a straight up lie.
Yeah, the density difficulty is incredibly scary on this one. You are looking at the LMT standard, the awkward linear flow aim patterns, especially at this mid-range BPM. The 160 just sort of plays like a dense stream practice map. I'm really curious to see where these teams go. Of course, we saw z10a derank tax run the double hard rock in that free mod 3, free mod 4, I believe. Free mod 3. So, all 4 free mod maps being played in this matchup. I'm curious to see if they go hard rock over mod here to avoid that AR8, given the given how one-sided the no mod 5 was.
Yeah, with how one-sided that was, I mean, I'm interested in this. I do think this is not guaranteeing, but this is definitely the most likely pick to bring it to tiebreaker. But you can't really count Z10 out with this. I mean, they still have got players that are going to be comfortable on this, and again, I always do mention it with it being the star ratings, they're comfortable, but this one is a bit more on that iffier side when it comes to the star ratings. So I am interested to see what happens here. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those maps where I generally couldn't tell you what was going to happen until it's over because of just how easy it feels to break on this map, how easy it is to lose major accuracy or lose focus or just anything unfortunate to happen. So the good lucks are coming out, the players are ready, they should be getting into the map soon, and this is possibly the final map of the match or the map leading into that tiebreaker.
One way or the other remains to be seen. We're going no hidden on this one for the side of Z10a derank tax. It's a double hard rock on Defi and Hifkill, both the mechanics-oriented players on that team. Fie and Akuma no Tenchi looking to put in some work on the Nomad here. It's hidden hard rock for Haga 1115 and hidden for Rollpan as we go into what may be the final map.
Yeah, and it's a really early miss coming in from Haga as well, which is definitely going to be a bit unfortunate for them. And I mean, look at these doubles and these like just awkward control patterns that are so easy to break on, as we saw from Haga. But yeah, it's just it's so easy just to find breaks, so easy to find out drops, so easy just to slip up because of how much this map gives you to slip up on. But it does seem that the side of Z10 aren't going to be running into that problem so far through this first quarter. And in fact, they're still holding on to one of their SSs, but it is matched by Funyamorake, who is also matching, you know, the SS on the side of VA, but none of the players in Z10 seem to have matched Haga's miss just yet, which is gonna make that score lead keep growing a small bit, just under a million difference. But again, half a map remaining and a miss now is definitely where the problems will really start to show.
Yeah, for sure. The mouse is going to help with the precision comfort on Haga with this recovery combo. As we get into this little bit of a slowdown section, it's currently the accuracy on Rikuima as well, bolstering the score lead for the Z10a derank tax team. About a 99% average for them, but there goes the break from Akuma no Tenchi. Has been forced to play these reading maps all day and has not been so confident on it. Is that second break, especially later on in the map, the recovery combo, but Haga to trade it. Defi going to make it even once more. It's the score advantage. Funyamorake, the double SS, broken, but Furamon once again looking for his second SS of the match. Unfortunately, Caster did it, but score lead well over 3 million at this point to the side of Funyamorake. And we may be going into the tiebreaker scenario in our very first Hippo Cup 9 matchup. Haga finding that second break, but it's not the FC that matters. Score advantage Funyamorake will be enough to close this out. And we are going into tiebreaker time. It is perfect free, a blast from the past, going all the way back to 2016 consistency light tech.
Yeah, I mean, tiebreaker time. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, it's unfortunate for side of Z10. I mean, FIA literally decided to try and take every single one of their team's scores on their back and just gone, I can bring out the full combo. We've got this. But unfortunately, it was matched by Rukima and Furamon and Rollpan as well. So, you know, it unfortunately wasn't enough for the side of Z10. But it does mean we get to see the tiebreaker, which I'm excited to see. We get to see that blast from the past. And they're always just good fun to see. A good bit of old tech is always a good bit of fun.
Yeah, of course the the replay for this in the showcase was the Kikizi FC, as is only natural, but you're looking for the multi-skill set comfort to come through, the consistency at this mid BPM. It's just 180. The spacing on these jumps so scary, some of the sliders so tricky if you are not comfortable with this era's styling of map, especially these two mappers in particular, RLC and Vixis. Incredibly divisive, but incredibly of its era, is going to be perfect free. 5 minutes and 44 seconds. how long can you hold your nerve in this scenario?
Yeah, holding on to these combos is going to be so crucial, even probably difficult as well because of the map that it is. But, you know, I feel like this is one of those maps where I think you can actually let nerves leave the room because it is just such a fun song to listen to. If you listen to that song and just play, you know, without being so overly focused on your combo, I reckon you'll actually end up pulling out a better score because, you know, you kind of get rid of that, get rid of those nerves. Hefkel actually asking if they can have a minute timeout. Maybe wanted to just look over the map. Maybe not practiced, or maybe just, you know, just to double check to see what's going on. You know, they want to make sure they're ready. They're looking at this map. They want to not lose this point. But that will go for the side of Funyamorake as well, where they're just going to be super focused. They definitely would have put that practice in. And Rolpan just casually mentioning the 5-for-5 full combos, which is impressive as it is.
Yeah, the anchors on that Funyamorake team locking it in. I am curious about the current roster and lobby. We're looking at Rolpan, Shupanpan, Rikuima. Curious to see who the fourth is. I am assuming it's going to be Furamon, based off of the performances they've been pulling off a number of FCs to their own name, and will be the case with regards to this four-man roster. Shupanpan, Furamon, some of the new rookies for that OWC team last year who put in work, top performers for sure. Rikuima, all-rounder at that 4-digit rank range. And actually, Hippo never left the lobby for that timeout, so I think they're just deliberating on what roster they want to put in for this pick. Who's going to be the player sitting out for this one? Satsuki, Fie. I feel like those are locks for this style of consistency map, but you're looking for the nerves, and Takuma no Tenchi filling in final spot. We're just moments away from the first tiebreaker and the first culmination of a match in this tournament. And what a banger it has been for a hefty beginning.
Yeah, genuinely just such a brilliant beginning to this tournament. And yeah, I mean, I have just witnessed that Fie has used that timeout to the maximum. I believe they were just playing the map, just, you know, making sure they have got that intro set in, got the map set in. And now the good lucks are ready, getting this final point, you know, going, getting this tiebreaker going, getting this song going, and the ultimate part of this match to start. And it is going to be, you know, a bit more tense. You know, a lot of these players are going to be, you know, a lot more focused on those misses if they can decide to not allow it. But, you know, again, with it being score v1, it's going to be crucial to hold those combos, and especially accuracy the later in your combos are. So let's get this map started, and let's just see where this takes us.
Yeah, you're looking for comfort on multiple skill sets here. Of course, with regards to who this map may favor, this is a very aim-oriented pick, and that is slightly worrisome with regards to the aim difficulties we've been seeing from Funyamorake throughout this tournament. But the different skill sets, the era of map, all things that are very important with regards to these slots, as this is a rather standard pick. Despite the slider difficulty, you're seeing these score lines flicker over and over, accuracies barely equalized. And it's going to stay this way for quite a minute as we are in here for the long haul. 6 minutes of map for this tiebreaker.
Yeah, the long haul is, you know, starting about 370 combo in, still basically not even making a full dent into the map, not even at the quarter mark just yet, but, you know, there's still so much time for it to change, so much time for the axes to break, so much combo to break, and the map does really start to kick off a bit more of those bursts to kick it in, a lot of that more aim, a lot more sliders, a lot more places to find unfortunate breaks, but it seems all of these players are confident. They have, you know, got themselves locked in for this map. You know, they are fighting just to stay in that winner's bracket, and, you know, Furamon right now is kind of fighting the hardest, still running that SS with Hidden, which is doing a lot of work for their accuracy side of things, but the accuracies across the entire team is still on the high 99, high ends of 99, but so is the side of Z10, all of them on those high 99s, and still no breaks to be seen.
Yeah, still no breaks to be seen. It's just a battle of attrition at the moment, a battle of accuracy. It's the SS from Funyamorake actually putting in a slight advantage. The score flicker is just Bancho keeping up with the scores on each side, but it's about a 1/100 advantage in the current moment. Traded out now with those dropped from Rikuima, but SV1 putting in work for the slider comfort here as we see all 8 of our FCs holding on tight. You're looking at the cursors, any potential nerve, any potential slider misread in this slow section. That was actually pretty close from a couple players on that musical note slider, but it's still remaining so close. We're about to be halfway through and all FCs are holding on tight, Torva.
Yeah, they're just playing so comfortably. I mean, they're showing so much calmness for, you know, maybe the nerves that are building up, and they will definitely start to show themselves through these next sections if they are to be shown. And the first miss is to be shown out by Satsuki, which is going to give a very strong lead to Funya now, especially if that miss isn't going to be traded out, but it is by Shupon. But the miss coming out from Fei just to make sure that advantage stays inside of Funya. That is such an unfortunate place to find that miss. It is 2 FCs to 3. And unless it is traded out soon, that combo build is going to be so important for the side of Z10 in hopes that, you know, that combo gets breaking just before the unrecoverable because of that combo scaling. But, you know, with half the map remaining, it's still definitely possible, but those misses have to be soon.
Yeah, the ending of this map has incremental difficulty. The ending of this map is significantly more difficult than the top half. And of course, with how large the combos accrued currently are, there is some pretty hefty potential here as the score lead is creeping up to that 10 million mark. 10 million is just about 200 combo, and the combos are this high at 1500 at this point. So the ending hold is going to be so important for Funyamorake. The longer they hold on to this extra FC, the better for them. And Furuman, Rikuima, Rollpan looking so comfortable. Akumi no Tenchi and Hifkill on that bottom row doing everything they can to hold on tight. The SS actually still being held on by Furuman versus that 100. Oh my god, I love cursing him, it's so funny. Spinner as we go into our final section, and it's a third FC down for the Z10a derank packs. This is our second seeded team, folks, falling to the wayside against number 9 right now. And Funyamorake, Hippo doing the best they can. It's about a 20k difference, a second break to come through. And at this point, the only recipe for disaster would be a triple break. It's not going to happen. Rikuima and Furuman, so comfortable in this style of tiebreaker. We saw them play tiebreakers in the Woos World Cup, and they're going to do it again just fine in the Hippo Cup. 30 million difference and growing for those two players is going to be a GG and a good night for the Z10a derank packs. Of course, still plenty of matches for them to go, but this is a phenomenal opener for Funyamorake and their prospects of making it out of group.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate, you know, set of misses they can. Rikuma actually already putting the GGs in, which is understandable. That score leads at 40 million and still growing. Just phenomenal scores being put out on the side of Funya, especially coming in from Riku and Furuman. Rollpan sadly not getting to claim the full combos across every map they played. But, you know, it's fine. Only missing on tiebreaker. It's all you needed, clearly, because, you know, you still had 2 players in the bank ready to pull out disgusting scores of 53 million and 57 million individually to close out this match of the group stage. Funya do find themselves winning, and it was a phenomenal output of scores from their end.
Just to put that into perspective a little bit, let's say 2 100 FC from Furuman. That would be, with regards to hidden FCs on the map, within the top 6. That would be the number 6 hidden score on the map if no fail. So incredibly comfortable is Funyamorake and Furuman on that map, and Z10a, surprisingly enough, no breakpoints. It just came down to the very tail end of tiebreaker, and that is going to be all she wrote for that first match. But we still have more Hippo Cup in this block. We're going to be taking a quick minute break to end stream and get a restart as we head into our next match. Upcoming, it is going to be Arthur Xfire versus .org on that Group C. So we'll be seeing you then in just a moment.